So what are the biggest learnings apart from relationship building, the networking? What are some of the other learnings you got from launching your podcast?
From all the mistakes that I've made, you mean?
That's fine.
Yeah. There's a number of them. I actually did a YouTube video about this just a little while ago. I'm not sure if it's been published or not, but if it hasn't, it will be soon. More mistakes than you can possibly count. Mistakes, I would say the biggest ones are not necessarily are not having an editorial calendar where you are planning your content in advance so that you can align any product launches or what have you with that content. So that was something that I really didn't do a good job of in the beginning. Now, is that mandatory to do? No, it's not mandatory, but there is absolutely a benefit to thinking about what am I going to produce and when am I going to produce it and who am I going to interview and so forth. Plan that out quarter by quarter by quarter, and it's a better idea to do that than not. I would say that my single greatest mistake, though, is to not put ad dollars behind promoting the show. Now, early on, when there wasn't a whole lot of competition, it was relatively easy to get traction. But these days, as I'm sure everyone who has a phone in their pocket with a podcast app on it knows, there's an endless number of shows. And the production quality of the shows has gone up, so you got to make sure that you have good audio. So there's a mistake too. Talking on a cheap microphone, don't want to do that.
No.
If most people still listen to podcasts in their ear, they're not watching them. There is an increasing number of people who are watching them, and that'll be another mistake that I'll cover in a minute. But making sure that you have really good audio and that you're recording in a dedicated space and that, there's not dogs barking and doing all these things that would be really annoying for people to listen to, I think is incredibly important. So we'll call that mistake number 2. So mistake number 3 was not promoting the show effectively. I'll call it amplification using ads. Now, it's really, really effective to get on other people's shows like this because I'm tapping right now. You have an existing audience that I'm essentially tapping into and hoping to hijack, and vice versa. Because if they're listening to your show, that means they already like listening to podcasts. And if they already like listening to podcasts, so long as I don't come across as a dimwit, they might like to listen to my show at some point. So I venture to guess that a few people from your audience will at least check out an episode or 2 of my show. Maybe they'll stick, maybe they won't. But in the beginning, I didn't put a lot of effort into trying to get myself on other people's shows, and I think that was a mistake. And then, as I mentioned to you before we hit record, one of my greatest mistakes in all of my online businesses is my total and complete failure to become proficient with advertising. I would dabble in it from time to time, and I would lose money every single time that I did it because I didn't really know I really didn't have a clue what I was doing. And there are very clear and well-defined best practices when it comes to creating campaigns, and that's a topic that we'll go into it as much or as little as you like. We could talk about that for the entire show. But as the number of podcasts has increased, getting new eyeballs has become an increasing challenge, and running paid amplification is one way that you can absolutely do that. So I would chalk that up to a big mistake. And then the final thing is YouTube. So for years, my show was audio only. And I did a survey at some point in the past, like, hey, do you listen to the show or do you watch the show? And the vast majority of people listened to the show, and because there was a lot of extra overhead burden on me to produce the video version, I simply chose not to do it. Now I have a full team and a video editor, and of course it's easy to do, and I think you said it's the same for you. But you got to get there. You got to get to the point where you have the systems and you have the people and you have the team. And so, because YouTube is an incredibly powerful place, it's a search engine. People do like to watch shows more now than they did in the past. So if you're not putting your show on YouTube, you're just missing out on views. And, if you're going to go through the effort to create the content in the first place, you might as well try and get as many views and downloads as you can. And YouTube is a very effective channel to help you do that.